Hi, welcome to your first episode of Bring Home the Fare with your host, Sarah. Today we'll be making kettle corn, and I'm going to teach you how to use your Whirley Pop, one of many recipes that you can do at home. So today we have purchased a beautiful Whirley Pop, as you can see. Comes with instruction manuals. I've been in the business for many years and have made dozens of recipes minimum, and let's get started. In this recipe specifically, we use a bit shy of 1/4 cup of sugar, white granulated. We are using a less than shy of 1/4 cup of oil. Today we're using coconut oil. Generally you can use corn oil. It doesn't take away the taste. It doesn't coat your kernels, and it can keep up with a high ratio of heat over your burner. And we will be using standard butterfly kernels today. As well, in the next episode, I will show you what a mushroom kernel looks like. That will keep the crunch a little higher, better looks. And the reason why you're using a bit shy of a 1/4 cup is because with your measurement of oil, your sugar needs to be the exact same measurement. So today I used a small packet of coconut oil, and it came out to a little 1/4 of a cup. So never use more sugar than your oil content. Always keep them exactly even. The very first thing we're going to do is turn your temperature on your stove onto medium heat. You want enough heat for combustion of your kernel, but you don't want too much that you will burn your kernel. So first thing we're going to do is put in our oil, let it heat up, and the way that you'll know that your oil is ready is we are going to insert just a few kernels into our Whirley Pop, and the machine itself will tell me when it's ready. So you take just a few kernels, pop them inside, and then we wait. You can give it a little push around, let the oil saturate the bottom of their Whirley Pop, just like that. And in a few minutes, we'll be ready. So as you can hear, the Whirley Pop is doing what it's supposed to. It's heating up the oil. My kernels are starting to pop. And this is where the magic begins. It's okay to take it off the burner every once in a while if you don't feel comfortable. You can even adjust your temperature a little bit depending on how high your stove operates. In just a few minutes, we're going to put this in. Just going to let it cook up a little bit more. I haven't heard the kernels pop right out yet. And for safety reasons, please always have your tab facing facing away from you. The oil is very hot and it can burn you. Safety is our most important thing when cooking anything on any type of hot burner. All right, ladies and gentlemen, our kernels are starting to pop. It's a beautiful sound. It's like the sound of magic. Whoop! As I'm talking about safety, when you're putting your kernels inside, please have it turned away from you. Boom! So we've got a little handle here. This handle will turn the crank, and I'll show you what happens inside. So hopefully it doesn't pop out at us. As you can see, the internal is stirring the popcorn for you. So it actually takes away a lot of the work that you'll need to do for yourself, which is amazing. It helps it from not sticking to the bottom of the pan. There we go. You can see what's going on the inside. And it's turned with a very small mechanism in the middle. So just for safety, I'm going to turn it away from me. Give it a little shake. So when your kernels start to pop dramatically, when it's starting to actually give you all of your popcorn, as soon as you hear maybe the first 15 kernels or so pop, we're going to pour in the sugar. And the sugar is going to make the kernels stop popping altogether because you're putting a cold item into a hot pan. So if you know how to cook and if you enjoy it, you're going to understand completely. There we go. I'm going to pop the sugar in there. And you have to act very fast. Woo! So when your temperature cools a little bit with the sugar inside, as it's melting the sugar itself, it's going to get right back up to the temperature it's supposed to be, but it's going to come out candy coated. You don't want to use too much sugar and you don't want to use too less of sugar. You're better off using a little bit less of sugar than you are of too much, because sugar does also have a high ratio of burning, and you don't want burnt popcorn. It doesn't taste as great as nice fluffy popcorn. I use sea salt. Sea salt is a great flavor. It's better than your standard iodide salt. It's the same cost as your regular standard salt that you have in the store. I've done many outside kettle corn events and we've always had sea salt on hand at all times. I've never used regular salt. There is a difference in size too of regular salt versus... Hold on. Let's concentrate on this instead of talking. Sea salt is a smaller granule than your regular salt. So you can actually see a difference. You can, when you are using sea salt, it'll melt onto the popcorn a little better than your regular salt would. So just going to turn the crank a little bit. You're going to get a nice candy coating. And I can feel a little bit of toughness on the handle itself, which means the candy coating is working perfectly, but it's not allowing it to stick to the bottom of the pan. Give it a little shake there. Oh, oh, there we go. So once you've taken your Whirley Pop off that burner, it is very important to pour immediately into your bowl. You want to avoid any burning whatsoever. Oh yeah, look at that. So right now, as it's hot, you take your sea salt, do a couple sprinkles, give it a shake. It might stick together for a moment, only because you're working with sugar. Give it a toss, see how it's all coated together? It's sticking a bit, and that's what you want. That means that your sugar has melted properly onto your popcorn. And as your sugar cools down, your popcorn will naturally start to separate. In fact, you can almost make a popcorn ball if you really wanted to. Here, let's make a popcorn ball. See? This is proof of the sugar that is on your popcorn right now. Put a little bit more salt. Give it another shake. So in about 1 minute's time, this is going to cool off. And your popcorn alone is going to separate immediately. You could even take a very small little spatula after 2 minutes and even just separate it out, and your kernels will all break out very nicely. So as you've seen, our kettle corn is separated beautifully. And you can hear the crunchiness from the sugar. So sea salt itself, it is your discretion on how much salt that you want to put on there. It's always safer to put your salt on after you've done cooking. If you put it in the pan too early, what if you put too much? You put too much salt in your food, you're not going to like your whole dish. Standard cooking practice. There we go. Delicious. Ladies and gentlemen, this is perfect. It is amazing, amazing kettle corn. I'm not sharing with anybody. It's my bowl. I get the biggest bowl in the house, as always. There is a difference in your kernels. So I'll show you what the difference is. This is called the butterfly. Oh, it's actually stuck together. There we go. This is called the butterfly. It's called the butterfly because it has wings. This is better for flavoring. This will, if you're using a seasoning, you want the seasoning to stick inside of the butterfly wings, and it gives you more flavor because there's more crevices. This is called a mushroom. This is what you use for candy coating. On our next episode, I'm going to show you about how and why you use different ones for different reasons in popcorn recipes, and it's very important. So you want to use this mushroom, well, not this one specifically because I'm going to eat it in a second. You want to use mushroom popcorn for the candy coating because it won't break as easily when you're cooking with sugars. Sugars will always break your popcorn naturally because it's a hard ingredient. So yeah, so that's the difference in your kernels. And yeah, so subscribe to us. I'll have many recipes for you, ideas, and yeah, like us on YouTube. Thanks, and stay tuned for our next episode on Bring Home the Fare. Bye!